Hello, I'm Zaccura and I am a professional artist, author, YouTuber, and I run an art shop where I sell stickers and prints and other art merchandise. I wear many hats. I don't have a team, it's just me and my amigurumi sidekick Steve.
Sidekick?
This video is going to be a little candid week in the life of running my art business. I have a very busy few days ahead of me, full of painting, printing, and making products. So go grab your stuff, your sketchbook, a snack, your business, and let's get some good work done. It is currently 10:56 a.m. Saturday, February 11th. I am going to premiere my video. I'm just about to go on right now and make sure everything is all set, post on social media, but first I must have my muffin. I baked these muffins yesterday and they are so good. So I'm really hopeful that this premiere goes well, and I really hope people like the video because I put a lot into it. One of my favorite parts about being an artist in this day and age is my ability to have a direct connection with my audience. Most of the work of being an artist and content creator is sitting alone at a desk for hours upon hours upon hours just making stuff. And as much as I love the hermit life, it can be very isolating at times. I'm sure every artist can relate to that. Sometimes you'll wonder, like, what am I doing here? Who is this reaching? And I have the privilege to open up my laptop and be like, oh, that's who I'm reaching. This is whose day I'm able to make a little bit brighter by creating the things that I create. This is who is supporting me. This is who believes in what I do. That is something very special. And in an age where the internet and technology are also creating so many challenges and anxieties for artists, I find it really important to remember the positive parts as well and to embrace them. So that went well. Got to chat with some of you guys, which was really cool. And this was my first premiere in probably a year. So it was really great to do one. It's been a while. It was a really tough painting. I'm so glad to have finished it on a good note. So now that it's finally done, I'm going to head off for now, take a break from staring at my screen, clean up my studio a bit. I still have like stuff left over from making that video, like all of the Steve Facts presentation stuff is just piled on my desk. So I'm just gonna do some studio cleaning and then gotta work out my next video, which is probably this video. There's a lot of inception going on. I took a couple of days off after the premiere to clean and recharge and refocus, and after that I was so ready to get back in the studio and make some new art and products and videos. But first I had to take some inventory of things, so allow me to introduce you to my sticker and print shop warehouse. This is like my entire art shop. This is pretty much where all the products are. I have my art prints, my stickers, I have like little packaging materials here. A lot of these things I recycle. Sometimes I buy things and they come in these kind of reusable plastic bags, and as long as they're really clean, then I will recycle them and use them as packaging for my shop. And this is like my packaging things, little thank you cards, my business cards, and I also have these pull tabs, which I am going to need to print more of today. On the other side of this, there is a coupon for 10% off, and I actually use this for packaging so people can open their package in like this really cute, fun way. But I need to print more with the new coupon code because sometimes I get return customers and they've already used the coupon code and I don't want to give them the same coupon code because it doesn't work twice. And then over here I have my little enjoy the extra stickers because I always include a little pack of surprise extra stuff. And I also have a thank you sticker, which I'm out of at the moment and I need to print more of those. And then over here I just have like some washi tape and string and other things I can use to kind of make the whole wrapping experience more nice. This is sticker paper. To get myself in the working mindset, I started with catching up on some printing, got those thank you stickers I was out of, as well as those updated pull tabs for my packaging, which by the way are a little tricky to print because they're double-sided. Next up is the cardstock. take it, flip it around, put it back in. Light test in front of the window. Yeah, it's all lined up. Hooray! See, look, it's all lined up perfectly. That makes me feel very happy. Every time I do a double-sided print, it just makes me feel very happy when it's successful. Most of my art prints and other paper-based products I have in my shop, I print kind of as orders come in. Over time, I've gotten kind of a feel for how many of each item I should have on hand, and I try to only keep a few extra as a buffer in case I get a big order or something goes wrong, like my printer breaks, which happened recently. Thus, a lot of my prints have been out of stock because I just ran out of that buffer. And even though, thanks to the almighty printer gods, I was able to fix my printer and it is now up and running, I didn't want to restock anything on my website until I replenished my buffer. Because, you know, the printer gods may have been merciful this time, but who knows how they'll be feeling tomorrow. I find cutting things to be very meditative. Sometimes if you have a lot of things to cut, it can be a little rough on the wrist, so you have to take breaks. It's just kind of very satisfying to cut things out. Do you guys have that same experience? Do you like just cutting shapes out of paper? As much as I do indeed love cutting things by hand, as my business grows, I do plan on investing in a cutting machine at some point, as it can be a bit much to cut things by hand, especially during busier months. But I kind of like showing people that you don't need to invest huge amounts of money or have fancy machines to start a business. With a bit of creativity and a pair of scissors, you can create a customer experience that feels just as professional and unique as any other business. And I'll cut these out later when/if I actually need to, because I already have a lot that are cut out. Once all of that printing and cutting work was done, it was finally time to put on my creative hat and get painting. Hooray! But I quickly ran into a little issue. So I made the mistake of never cleaning my palette paper in my Stay Wet palette, and eventually it dried out. And that means all of this paint here is like dried on solid. And now because it's all coated in a layer of acrylic based paint, if I put more paint on top of this and just try to keep using it, the water simply won't go through the paper anymore. So essentially it won't be a Stay Wet palette anymore. Stay Wet palette paper is actually supposed to be reusable. You can wash it after you use it, but because I let it go this far, I doubt I'm going to be able to clean this, so I'm going to have to probably just toss it. I kind of hate getting rid of my palette paper though. It's like a little work of art in itself. Does anybody else have a weird attachment to their dirty mixing palettes? I mean, it's like a little piece of history for every painting you work on. Maybe I'm alone on this one. So my painting plans got delayed for a little bit as I prepped a new sheet of palette paper, but that also gave me time to think about what exactly I wanted to paint. I'm thinking since March is coming, that is the mark of spring for me. And when I think of spring, I think of flowers. So I think I'm going to try to paint some gouache flowers and then make some notepad designs to have as a digital download. So let's get painting! To clarify, for those who may not know, along with physical products, I also make and sell digital downloads on my website. One of those being DIY notepad pattern packs, which essentially contain pre-formatted designs and instructions for people to print and make their own notepads/memo pads at home. It's a really fun and easy project, and I've had some people ask me if there would be more designs, because at the moment I only have 2 different design packs on my shop for those, and I have been meaning to create more for a very long time. Sorry for the massive glare here. So I have my reference photos here. These are photos that I took myself from last year or maybe 2 years ago or something. Daffodils are one of my favorite flowers. I just think they look so happy and so yellow and just fun, like it's like a cup. I think most artists who are just starting to put themselves out there or who are looking to build a business around their art would be surprised to know just how much of the work involved with being an independent artist or running an art shop has nothing to do with actually making art. Most of the time, you're caught between updating your portfolio, your website, answering emails, editing photographs to post on social media, printing packaging materials for the 900th time, or worrying about how the heck stuff like shipping and taxes work. Seriously, someone tell me. And even when you do finally sit down to paint, if you are a YouTuber or on social media, you most likely have a camera over your shoulder, which somehow is always about 2 minutes away from running out of battery. I don't understand it. This type of work is not for everybody. I think in order to realistically do all of this sustainably for the long run, you have to love every part of it, just as much as you love drawing and painting. You have to love having that camera over your shoulder and spending hours in front of a computer screen editing stuff to post. But you'll really never know if being a YouTuber or running an art shop is for you until you do it. And you don't need a lot to get started. Once you do, you will be faced with all of these new things to learn and overcome, some of which you may find so much joy in, and others not so much. But regardless if you end up loving it all, or hating it all, or something in between, at least you'll know for sure, because you actually did it. And over time, from doing things and experimenting, adjusting, you will eventually find your way into your own unique path. That's what I did and continue to do every day. And right now, YouTube, product making, this is all just one type of path that I happen to have chosen because over time I've grown to just love every part of it. But I didn't always love the grind of being a YouTuber or running an art business. There were times when I got so overwhelmed with it all that I seriously questioned if this was all for me. Because if I'm being honest, I've never been the quickest learner when it comes to the marketing and business side of things. I've made so many mistakes, and it can be humbling and embarrassing to see just how bad you are at something time and time again. But those mistakes made me better because I kept coming back. After every sting of a failed product launch or video that bombed, I was able to come back to the drawing board, come back to the camera with the same level of energy and enthusiasm to work on the next project. In some ways, I feel fortunate to have been through the tough beginning of learning art before starting a business, because I know what it's like to put your best effort into a drawing and have it come out terribly. I know what it's like to compare yourself to other artists who seem to learn so much quicker and wonder if maybe you just don't have what it takes. But I also know what it's like to stick with something. I've seen how much you improve if you just keep at it, one terrible drawing at a time. Being a YouTuber and running an art business often feels the same way. You make mistakes, lots of mistakes, but those mistakes make you better. And just like with art, some people pick it up faster than others. But at the end of the day, success is a matter of persistence, not talent. So if you have determination, a dream, and a willingness to keep getting up every time you fall flat on your face, you're already one step ahead of everyone else. I am taking some color notes. I don't usually ever do this, but I've seen other artists do it, and I think it helps you kind of remember how you like to mix certain colors. But in this case, these were all colors straight from the tube except for this light green, which was mixed with the aqua blue plus the perm yellow. I think these daffodils came out pretty cute. I wasn't so sure about them like halfway through, but now seeing them all here, I think they're super pretty. I feel like I want to write something here, just like a quick something. decided to write, "The march of spring so calmly erupts, gentle yet bright, like daffodil cups." Kind of a sing-songy rhyme. I feel like spring is so gentle and nurturing and peaceful, and yet at the same time, it's the brightest season. It's when all of the flowers are blooming and it's full of color. I think it's such a wonderful blend of excitement and tranquility, and so I wanted to write something that reflected that while also incorporating the daffodils, of course. Once my painting sesh was over, it was time to turn these daffodils into some nice products. Starting with that notepad design. My previous notepad designs were all oriented as these sort of skinny rectangle shapes about the size of a chocolate bar. But for this one, I was feeling like trying something new and decided to make it more square. It took a bit of math and trial and error to get the sizing exactly right because I wanted to fit 6 notepad pages onto one sheet of printing paper, and I also had to factor in printing margins. In the end, I was working with measurements like this, very precise. Perfect. But whenever making printable digital products, I find it especially important to format everything as perfectly and exact as possible to minimize any issues on the customer's end. A customer shouldn't have to have any kind of advanced computer knowledge in order to successfully print these things at home. I always cleaned up the scanned artwork as much as possible, and if I'm turning it into products, like I am in this case, then I also have to cut out each item by removing the white paper. It's a pretty time-consuming process, but it makes it super easy to turn the art into any kind of product I want later. So I'm actually using this time here to listen to some copyright-free music I downloaded to potentially use in YouTube videos. This way I can get an idea of when and how to use each track. All about that multitasking. Okay, back to work. Pigeon break over. Product design is sort of like solving a puzzle. You have physical restrictions to adhere to, and making something look good within those restrictions can be a challenge, but one that I personally find very addicting. There's just something really satisfying about turning your art into something useful, something akin to what you would see in a store. I don't know, it just sort of triggers that inner, "Mommy, look, I made this" vibe. In the end, I came up with 2 slightly different notepad designs, one with this blue sky border and one with a yellow border, and I could not choose between the 2. So I turned to my followers for help. I have just posted a poll on my Instagram to ask my followers which notepad design they like better, the one with the yellow border or the one with the bluish border. So while I'm waiting for those results to come in, I'm going to do some updates to my website. I'm going to update my portfolio because I haven't done that in a while. I had just finished a major 3-part video series called How to Find Your Spark, where I showed the journey of starting from a state of art block to attempting my largest and most complicated watercolor painting yet. You actually saw me premiering the final episode of that series at the beginning of this video, and that series really pushed me artistically and with filmmaking, so I figured it deserved its own little addition to my portfolio. There it is on my portfolio. When you open it, it has a description and a link to the series on YouTube, and has a little preview video and all of those nice juicy close-ups of the artwork. Because honestly, I feel like this piece of art really needs to be like appreciated very up close with all those details. And there you go. Alright, so let's check on that Instagram poll. You guys are not making this easy. I think I might just have to go with bows. And so I did. Though after 24 hours, the blue design did come out as the winner on the poll. Like, the poll was stuck very close to 50-50 that whole day, but when I checked it the next morning, I guess the blue fans had come out of the woodwork while I was sleeping. Thank you, by the way, to anyone who voted on the poll or gave feedback. Really appreciate it. But I still decided to just go with both designs. I figured if anything, it just adds more value to the digital download pack having two designs inside. This way people can choose their favorite version to print at home, or even mix and match and do an alternating page situation, which is what I'm going to do. By the way, if you're looking for a more detailed explanation on how to make notepads, I have a dedicated step-by-step tutorial on my channel for that. I'll leave a link in the description box. And while that first notepad was drying, I made some food, and ate the food, and enjoyed the food. And yes, those are the same chopsticks from the previous video. And after that, I went ahead and made some stickers from these daffodils, which was pretty easy because the artwork was already nicely cut out. I was determined to get 4 of each design on one page, and I did it! I did it! And once again, I also have a dedicated step-by-step tutorial on how to make stickers if you are looking for that info. I will leave a link to it in the description. So as you can see, this printed out pretty good, except for the very end, which this does happen sometimes with my printer. And as you can see, there's some chromatic aberration happening on this sticker. It's very little. Normally it should look like this. Honestly, like if you didn't see it next to this one, you'd probably just think that's how the art looks. So not so bad, but I'll probably just cut this out and use it as a freebie for somebody's order instead of selling it. But other than that, it looks super good. One thing I don't show in that sticker tutorial is laminating stickers, because it's something I've only started doing relatively recently. So here is some squeegee action of what lamination looks like. And by squeegee, I mean my ruler wrapped in the cloth. Very professional. Laminating stickers makes them extra durable, waterproof, scratch-proof, delicious. I actually did mess up a little this time. I guess it's the curse of the camera. But thankfully it was only on a freebie sticker, so no biggie. And boom! We have a sheet ready for cutting. Should we cut one out? I think yes. I only needed to cut out 1 of each design at this point in order to take product photos, and the rest I can cut out anytime later. Another reason why a cutting machine is going to be a necessary investment at some point. Stickers are a killer on the hand if you have to cut out a lot. I try to be careful and only cut out a few at a time and do the whole hand stretching routine, but that's also why I usually have a pretty limited stock on each of my stickers, because I just don't want to kill my hand here. You know what? This was the sticker that was slightly misprinted, you can see there. Instead of using it as a freebie, I think I'm going to use this one on my sketchbook. I mean, it even matches. It's yellow and yellow. Despite the fact that I literally have a sticker business, I hardly ever put stickers on my sketchbooks. I don't know why. I don't know. I like usually just preserving the blankness of it, but in this case, I think it's just gonna look really cute. There, or in the middle, or maybe like under, like here, or maybe in the top corner. I think this is why I hardly ever put stickers on my sketchbooks, because I just can't make up my mind on where to put them. Maybe like that. I think I'll just put it in this corner. That's where my gut was telling me to put it. Yay! I have a sticker on my sketchbook! And the original art is in this sketchbook! Oh, it's almost like the same size as the sticker. I didn't even do that on purpose, but it is. With the stickers cut, the notepad dry, all that was left was to take the product photos, but for that I had to wait until the next day to use daylight because my ring light creates too much glare for taking product photos. So the last thing to do for that night was to clean up my desk, cause paper, and then put together the files for the digital notepad design pack. Ah, so many wires. Alrighty, one digital download pattern pack ready to go. And after a day of work, we all deserve a little piece of chocolate. The next day, I was kind of busy with some non-art related things, and I only got the chance to get in the studio in the late afternoon, which meant the daylight was almost gone, but I quickly set things up and got in as many photos as I could. My camera, which is the same camera I use to film my videos, does not have the best resolution for photographs, and often my product photos come out quite grainy, but I do my best to make them work. I often spend a lot of time editing my photos digitally to make them presentable, while still being truthful to the actual product people receive, which is always super important to me. At this point, I already decided to launch these daffodil products as a collection all at once, and if we're making a collection, might as well make another product. The notepads and the stickers show off the daffodil art, but they didn't incorporate the little poem that went with it. So I decided to make a daffodil greeting card, and printed on the inside of the card would be the poem. My plan was to have a shop update and launch this collection on March 1st, 2023. One, because daffodil is the flower of March, so it just felt like the perfect timing. And also because that coincides with my newsletter. For those who may not know, I have a newsletter that I send out on the 1st of every month, containing shop updates, behind the scenes of my projects, exclusive stuff, and I even host a monthly art prompt challenge called #Zaccura prompts, where I give a new prompt word every month and people can create art inspired by that month's prompt for a chance to be featured in a future newsletter, which is low-key my favorite part of the newsletter. I love seeing other people's art, and I love it even more that I can give it a little bit of a platform. And for March's newsletter, I was actually also planning on launching an early access product page exclusive for newsletter subscribers so that they could shop the products a few days before they hit the public shop page, because everything in the update was going to be limited quantity, limited edition. So I just wanted to give my newsletter subbies first dibs. I'll have the link to my newsletter sign up in the description box, by the way, if you're interested in joining. And there was one last very important product to make, which has nothing to do with the daffodils, but I was planning on launching it at the same time. This is a print of the artwork you saw at the beginning of this video and from my previous How to Find Your Spark video series. It was my largest watercolor piece I had ever made, and so I figured it was only fitting to turn it into the largest art print I had ever made. It is not the same size as the original art, it's a little smaller, but it is still the largest art print that I've made. Up to this point, I had only made postcard size prints, 5 by 7 inches, and this one is 8 by 10 inches. I only have a small amount of mailers that are this size because just my shop is totally not prepared for this kind of sized print. So this print is only going to be available in a very limited quantity, but I just love how this thing turned out. It's definitely one of my favorite art prints I've ever made. It really captures all of those little details. I might have to consider making more prints at this size in the future, but first, just want to see how well this one does. The next day, I managed to squeeze in a few more product photos. Sometimes you gotta get creative with your product backdrops. This is literally a pair of wide leg jeans. In fact, a lot of my product photos are shot on a pair of jeans because it has this very nice neutral blue background and it has a bit of texture, which I think just looks really nice as a backdrop. And after that, I was finally all ready and prepared to get everything updated on my shop, write out the newsletter, send it out, launch the update, and cross my fingers that everything worked out. And this is actually where this video was supposed to end. Originally, I planned to have this video posted around the same time as the shop update, but it ended up taking me longer than expected to edit this video. However, the good part of this delay is now I get to show you how the launch went. I just sent out March's newsletter with early access to the new products, and we already got a couple of orders. Thank you guys so much. I wasn't expecting orders to come in that quickly. I mean, your support means everything. Let's go pack some orders. So these 2 boxes here are all like packaging materials. This whole cubby box here is full of just recycled packaging materials. I have packing paper, bubble wrap, some like cardboard boxes in case I have like a weirdly shaped order, even like a bubble mailer. Because again, like sometimes you order something online and it's just wrapped in this giant piece of bubble wrap, and like if you save that and like cut it into smaller pieces, you can wrap like 50 orders. I pack my orders like I'm wrapping a present. Sometimes I spend a little too long on it because that's exactly what I want to give to the people who support me in what I do. I feel like they give me a gift by either watching my videos or buying my products or sending me super sweet messages or buyer notes. It's an honor to be able to make art and to have some of that art connect with others. My whole goal with this daffodil collection was to bring brightness and a smile to people's face, because that's what daffodils do for me. And honestly, everything I do, every video I make, every product I print is all with the hope that people feel like they're getting a little present from me. Alright, and then here I have some of my products laid out. One of my customers bought a copy of my book, Sixth Journey. I love this book, and I'm so happy that it's been able to make its way to homes all across the country and to other countries as well. And this is an example where that recycled bubble wrap comes in handy. Often I get orders with various shaped items that don't always pack very nicely together, and the last thing I want is something to get bent or broken, so the bubble wrap helps to fill up the space and make everything nice and flat. Sometimes I will use packing paper instead, but packing paper is heavier, so if I have the bubble wrap saved up, then I will use that. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with me. I know many of my viewers are artists, so if you got any drawing done while you were watching this video, comment down below with what you drew. I'm super curious. But regardless, if you are an artist or just an art appreciator, I hope you enjoyed this little behind-the-scenes snippet of what it's like being an independent professional artist. If you did enjoy this video, please hit that thumbs up so I know. And if you'd like to see more studio vlogs like this, let me know in the comments. I've been kind of experimenting a bit with my videos lately and would love to know what clicks with you guys. Feedback is always welcomed, positive or constructive. If you'd like to support me, my work, and this channel, you can check out my shop at Zaccura.com. Some of the products shown in this video may still be available. Or if you're just a fan of the videos and would like to support it more directly, consider giving a super thanks by hitting that little heart icon under this video. Super thanks donations will always be put towards this channel and these videos, just like shop orders will always be put towards making more art and sharing it with you guys. I can't thank you enough for supporting what I do. If you'd like to keep watching, I'll have a playlist on screen full of more art and chat videos. I have hundreds of videos on my channel. Many of them are perfect for having on in the background, kind of like this video. And until next time, stay awesome, stay inspired, always. See ya!
Yeah. Lower that, it's way too loud.
Okay, Steve, I got it.
Fabulous.